welcome everybody to the We Hate Anime podcast, the only anime podcast that it's been taking inconsistent breaks, both due to COVID fucking everyone's shit, and also it was the fucking holidays. You know, people are busy. You know, it's fucking busy outside. Joining me this week for our best of the year 2021 episode is Doku.
Hello. I am echoing because I am in a new house that has no carpet.
Yeah, fucking Doku over here being like, yes, I own an air fryer in a house. Upper middle class looking motherfucker.
Hell yeah.
Usually I like to start this episode by thanking our patrons. You can head over to We Hate Anime. It's patreon.com/WeHateAnime. For as little as $1 a month, you can help support us. Our current patrons are Quadrasic, I think I said it right. Kev Online, friend of the show. Nicole Carter, my lovely girlfriend.
That's called
Vinegar Raw, who recently upped to the producer level. Thanks for that, Vinegar. We really do appreciate you.
We really
and
do.
Also, our patrons pay Lardo, who deserves the money.
Yes.
And of course, we also have our longest patron, who's been at the $25 level since I believe we've started our patron.
Longest in many ways.
That would be Gachi Gachi Chadicus Thundercock. I think I said Chadlicious the last time I said that.
Just change it up every time.
But yeah, I want to thank everyone for donating their money, helping us out. Because I mean, hey, you're listening to this. Hopefully, this on the 22nd, and if you are, then maybe if you're subscribed to the YouTube, you saw the video that Lardo slaved to make, which came out the day before on Friday. That video is pretty cool. Man.
Yeah.
It's really weird to have a video out after so long of not like making one. I recorded that audio like 7-8 months ago. And in that audio I referenced that I'm about to turn 29. Which was incorrect when I recorded that audio. When I recorded that audio, I was about to turn 28. But has since become correct.
Let's go. That's what you do. You plan ahead like that.
Exactly. I've learned that I'm no longer going to reference things that will happen soon in scripts that I write, because who knows when they'll be done.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hope everyone looks forward to that. If you haven't checked it out, it's a video on Angel Beats, a show in which I like quite a bit.
Angel Beats fucking owns. That is one of the first anime I watched, and I don't remember anything about it, so I need to rewatch it.
Yeah. I feel like that's most people. Most people watch that when they're like 15 years old. And
yeah, most people, from what I understand, watched it around the time it first came out, and then just because it like fell out of relevancy, and then that was it. But it's really good. It's been on Netflix since forever. So it's always fun to watch.
I would tentatively recommend Angel Beats. The whole premise of my video is about how the show sucks, but people care about it, and this is the reason they care about it, because the show does kind of suck.
It's been years since I watched it. I remember it made me cry, and I remember the opening was a banger.
Oh yeah, the opening is such a banger that it is how the video starts and how it ends.
Hell yeah.
You should check it out. It's primarily an analysis of episode 3, which is the first one in which like the main character helps a character move on into the afterlife. Or well, into reincarnation. Whatever. Angel Beats is weird. The second episode of that show is a big comedy fun time, and then and then like all the characters get separated from each other, and when they do, our main character learns the tragic, edgy backstory of one of the characters, and it's like really fucked up and comes out of nowhere. It's hilarious.
I think the episode I remember the most is the one where they're going through like this like trap house, like literal, like literally a house of traps.
Yeah. That is, I believe, the second one actually.
Okay, I remember that one.
Yeah. If you've never seen Angel Beats, it's worth checking out, especially if you like melodrama. I'm a big fan of melodrama.
Yeah.
But man, that show is so incredibly stupid. Like it's impressively dumb. But yeah, I really hope everyone enjoys that video and share it around. Tell people that it's the most important thing you've ever seen in your entire life, and I'd appreciate that.
Yes, it is the new Defunctland Fast Pass video of the anime.
Listen, I've not seen that video, but I don't have to see that video to know that my video is not as good as that video.
That video is great. Have you ever seen a video essay that has a plot twist in it?
Yeah, I have. I'm a big fan of those.
Okay, it's really good. I highly recommend watching the Defunctland Fast Pass video because holy shit, Disneyland's fucking stupid.
I absolutely should watch that. In fact, I might watch it when we're done here.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, it's been a while since we've sat down and recorded an episode. What you been up to, Doku?
Well, as I said earlier, I moved out of my old apartment and into a house. I'm renting a house, which is cool. It kind of sucks at the same time because now I have to actually pay for all my utilities. Before my apartment paid for water, and now I have to pay for my water and power and gas. Because
gas is a bitch,
yeah,
especially during winter.
Yep, because we have gas appliances, which is I'm kind of excited about because I've never used a gas stove before, and I fucking hate electric stoves.
Gas stoves are fucking awesome. They get so fucking hot so fucking quickly. It's great. And
it actually evens because the fire like goes around.
It forms around it goes around the metal. So like it's so good.
So that's exciting. I'm very excited about that because and we wanted, so we moved to a house because my wife's having a kid soon. And we wanted a little extra room.
I was actually gonna ask you because I was curious. Y'all are still doing that, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know if you changed your mind or anything. Like,
no.
You know. Okay, I think this like I still think you should think about it. But like, yeah, that's fine. That's fine. But anyway, what were you saying?
But my wife and I we're having a kid. It is a girl. So I'm having a daughter.
For some reason, I thought you were about to say I'm having a dog. That's the plot twist of this episode. You're just been having a puppy the whole time.
When I was born, my older brother was disappointed that I was not a puppy.
Classic younger, older sibling thing.
Yeah. That happened. I've had a lot of car trouble for like the past 2 weeks. My car has just been wanting to shit itself. And I think we finally got it all figured out today. So I have a car.
What kind of car is it?
Huh?
What kind of car is it?
Oh, it's a 2004 Honda Civic.
What are the problems?
It was acting, it was doing like, you know.
Wow. Yeah, you know what? Man,
Okay, you remember that one? Okay, you know how in like what is it, the 70s, Hanna-Barbera was making a bunch of like Scooby-Doo knockoffs. There was the one with the car.
Yeah,
that's what my car was doing.
I was going putt putt putt.
Yeah, I was doing that.
It sounds like you had it sounds like you probably had a faulty air intake sensor.
No, it was the cylinder. It was cylinders.
Oh, cylinder was misfiring. Yeah,
Yeah.
That was.
So we replaced
that's pretty
all
common.
4 of those and spark plugs.
Wait, you replaced the whole sensors or just the coil pack and the spark plugs?
The coil pack.
I was about to say that's real expensive.
No, so
fucking replace your whole ass engine. Just like, oh yeah, you know, I just got it. I just got a new one of them.
I've had to do that before because I exploded my old one.
Like in the same car?
Yes.
Why not just get another car? Like I realize vehicles are expensive, but also replacing an engine is a really expensive thing to do.
Let me tell you what happened. Because I didn't pay for it.
What did you fucking do?
So my engine exploded.
Oh yes, we've covered that.
And the next day I had to go on like a school trip to a theater festival. And my brother...
This is the most white story ever.
My brother works at a auto shop. Well, he worked at an auto shop at the time. And so he just towed the car to the auto shop and just let us sit in the parking lot until I got back and we could figure out what the fuck we wanted to do with it. While I was in the parking lot, someone backed into it.
Ooh, yeah, insurance fraud, baby.
Insurance paid for a brand new engine.
Yeah. Hey, listen.
Because my brother was buddies with like the like body shop people, and like everyone who basically like dealt with that kind of shit. So they were like, "Yeah, you need a new engine. Yeah, we'll provide that. You need a new engine."
Oh. Dude, listen, you're among friends, okay? I am no stranger to insurance fraud. I've committed it before.
That's cool.
Nothing that anyone can prove in court. I had an old Buick. It was a 2004 Buick. I was paying for it. My brother was selling it to me, and I had not even made a payment on it. And I was driving it to work. And some douchebag, and this is 2016, a douchebag in a brand new fucking, God, what was it, a Lexus, I think? Fucking turned left into it as I was driving through a green light. Fucking totaled his front end. Like fucking, like his new piece of shit car crumpled like fucking newspaper. My 04 Buick, like the tire popped. The fender and the bumper was destroyed, and it knocked the wheel back into a line, which is my favorite part of that story. But like, whenever the insurance inspector came out to look at it, I had been driving it to work still, just on a boot. But we had to like pretend like, oh man, it won't even move. It's all, and the guy's just like, yeah, okay. And like a month later, I got an $8,000 check for the Blue Book value.
Let's go.
So this motherfucker, by hitting me, paid for my car and gave me a bunch of money.
Bro, insurance does not give a fuck.
I was only gonna pay $2,000 for that. And then my brother was like, yo, you got a bunch of money for that? Can I have like extra money? And I was like, hell yeah.
Let's go.
So you're among friends when it comes to fleecing the system, we'll say.
Listen, if anything deserves to be frauded, it's insurance.
So true. Literally a scam.
Like taxes, maybe, depending, you know.
Oh yeah, you'll
Tax
find
fraud is like it's kind of this is in a gray area.
Yeah,
Insurance, you're good.
100%. Like, yeah, people who do insurance are literally. I did insurance. It was my job to scam old people. It was awful, and I wanted to kill myself. But yeah, that's thanks everybody for tuning in to the committing tax and insurance fraud power hour. You were telling me before we hit record that you've been not doing any work and getting paid for it.
I've been watching.
Since we're talking about fraud that we're doing, I just.
I've been watching a lot of One Piece. Like a lot. I'm like about 50 episodes away from being caught up with One Piece. This is due in part. I have not worked in 3 weeks. I have not actually done any work in 3 weeks. I go to work. I go to work every morning, Monday through Friday, 8 o'clock to 5 o'clock. Here's what I do. I go into work, 8 o'clock. I sit on my desk. I forward, because I work in IT, I forward the IT help desk line to my cell phone, and then I go log on to my computer. I hit Control Window right arrow key, which, if you don't know, if you work in an office, is the greatest thing to learn. Press Control Window D, it creates a virtual desktop. And then Control Window right and left switches between your desktops. And my first virtual desktop is all my work shit. My second one, or my main desktop is all my work shit. Then my virtual desktop is Verve, VRV.com, and I watch One Piece from 8 o'clock to 5 o'clock. This is what I have been doing. So I'm the audiovisual technician for work, which means I mostly do like audio, like when there's events and stuff going on, I basically help them set up their sound and video equipment and stuff. When there's no events going on, I have nothing to do. Especially near the beginning of the year, when there's not even stuff to help out in the office because we have no projects going on. So I just sit at my desk from 8 to 5 watching One Piece.
Amazing.
I watch about 10 episodes a day.
God damn. That's I don't know if I could watch a show like One Piece like that. I think I would get bored real quick.
That's fair. I think and during Dressrosa, that was me. But I've basically gone through Zoe all the way up to I'm on like 959. And that's like 3 months.
Jesus.
That's like 300 episodes.
Ugh. You could have. Oh God, that's so much time.
One Piece is good. let me just throw that out there. One Piece is good. It is worth getting into. If that's a thing you like. If you don't like One Piece, that's fine. One Piece isn't for everyone. But as far as shonen goes, I think One Piece is definitely one of the best shonen I've ever fucking watched.
How much have you watched?
I've watched a fair amount of shonen. I've watched like Dragon Ball, Yu Yu Hakusho, JoJo. What's some other shit? I have to look at my anime list. I don't think.
Listen. It is big words to say that One Piece is better than Yu Yu Hakusho.
You're right.
No qualifiers. Yes.
You're right. That's big word to say One Piece is better than Yu Yu Hakusho, and I'm saying it.
Oh, how could one man be so wrong so confidently?
Listen, you haven't seen One Piece. You don't know.
You understand. I have seen One Piece all the way up through and past the Alabasta arc. I've given it my fair share.
Yeah, that's fair. I say if you don't like, my cutoff for people is like if you don't like it past Arlong, you probably just don't like One Piece.
I honestly like the only recently I because Nicole's been reading through One Piece, and that's something I'll say. Watching One Piece, you're insane. If you want to read One Piece, fine. I won't judge you. Watching it, you should do something better with your life.
Nah. It is very okay. I've also been reading it too. I've been reading through the manga recently from the beginning. I am on Thriller Bark right now in the manga. It is a different experience.
Yeah, probably a much better one.
No, I would not say they're better. After reading the manga and watching the anime, I honestly believe the first two major arcs, which is like East Blue Alabasta, watch the anime. I think you should watch the anime rather than reading the manga for those two arcs.
Why?
I just think the anime has better pacing. Compared to the manga. Especially,
I can see that.
My main thing is the comparisons between the first episode of the anime versus the first chapter of the manga. The first chapter of the manga is Luffy's backstory, which to me doesn't make an interesting introduction to One Piece. The first episode of the anime is like an actual battle against like a pirate. It introduces One Piece, introduces Luffy, introduces like what his abilities are, and then shows how he fights.
Isn't he fighting Buggy?
No, he fights Alvera. I think that's her name.
Buggy's like the first villain, right?
Yeah, Buggy's like no, it's Captain Morgan's like the first villain. Because that's when he rescues Zoro, and then it's Buggy.
Okay. Yeah.
And all these characters continue to be major characters, even right now. Buggy especially. Buggy is a huge character in the manga right now.
I heard that there was that like one really big fat lady from early on, and then later she comes back super hot because Oda can only draw uglier hot characters. Yeah,
there's like no in between for Oda.
God, there's fucking okay. Tangent upon tangent. This is a podcast. It's what tangents are for. There's an anime that's airing right now that's on our seasonal list. Stay tuned for the next episode where we talk about the seasonal anime. It's called Sabui Kibisco. I don't remember how to pronounce it. Every character design is like pretty good in that show. And then randomly, there's just one girl who is just an Oda design. Like I'm talking the fucking pencil thin hips, the boombas, the babambos, the hair that's kind of like sticking to her head because Oda also doesn't know how to draw hair.
Let me tell you, it is so weird watching the One Piece movies because Oda likes titties. That's not a secret.
You don't fucking say.
Oda likes titties. He doesn't care for ass, which is something you can tell just by looking at One Piece. And then you watch One Piece Gold, where obviously the director of that movie likes ass. You know what? That movie is for me.
Maybe I should watch this movie. So what are you planning on doing once you like finish are caught up with One Piece?
I don't know. Probably Gundam. Not all of Gundam, but like just watching like Gundam. Like the original series.
The original one? Okay.
Yeah. Or whatever people consider the good one to be. I don't know. I don't know anything about fucking Gundam.
You can hit me up for that because I'm kind of a massive Gundam fan. I've watched more than half of it, including like the side series.
Yeah, Gundam and Columbo.
Oh yeah. Me and Nicole have been like hanging out with our buddy Saf IRL, watching Columbo and eating food on Sundays when I have work off, and that show's really good.
Columbo's fucking great. I watched the first season at like when I first started work, where I was like too embarrassed to actually just watch anime. I watched Columbo, and Columbo's really fucking good.
It's so like it's really impressive to like the structure of that show's really great. Like seeing the murder happen, we the whole time know who the murderer is, and oftentimes in the episodes the character you're following is the murderer.
Yes, I really like that that style where it really doesn't follow Columbo.
Yeah,
like one of the first episodes is directed by Steven Spielberg, and it's so fucking good.
Yes, that
episode is great.
It really feels like this is just a series of people, and Columbo is happening to their lives the moment they
he's like a specter. When if you murder someone, he appears.
You should get the DVD box set of this because the title screens are amazingly awful. Like when you go into the menu for the subtitles, the like pictures, it's like a white background, and then it's just like a picture of like the back of Columbo's head, and he kind of has his hands on the back of his head, and there's like a ghost image coming out of him. It looks like he's activating his stand.
That's good.
But I speculate that like Columbo isn't a stand user. I think Columbo is a stand. I don't know whose stand. I think that's the point of the show. You got to find out who's using the stand. But whenever you commit a murder, that's the activation conditions for this stand. I think that's what it is.
Yeah, Columbo's great. That is our anime of the year. Thank you all for coming.
Anime of the year for every year since 1977.
God, Peter Falk is so. One of my friends, because we were talking about Columbo, and he was just showing me clips of other things Peter Falk has done, and I'm convinced Peter Falk is the greatest actor who's ever been on television.
He has so much charisma and charm, and like there's an episode where Columbo was trying to catch this guy, and he like followed him onto his boat out to sea.
I love that episode so much.
And he just starts getting seasick.
He's like, we gotta go back.
Yeah, it's so fucking funny. It feels so fucking real.
The killer is like, Lieutenant Columbo, you gonna be okay? You good, buddy?
Yeah, that's one of the best things about the show. Most of the killers end up liking Columbo a lot.
He's just a likable dude. You can't help yourself. One of my favorite episodes, I don't know if you've seen it yet, is the one, God, I don't even remember what it's called. But I remember the big thing about it was about this construction site. Mm-hmm. And Columbo just keeps, for the whole episode, Columbo is just talking about, what if someone buried a body in this construction site? Man, if I were a killer, I would do that. And he's just talking about this the whole episode. And then the episode like ends with like Columbo making the city spend all of this money to dig up a pillar in this construction site, and there's no body. And then the killer who works at this construction company is like, Columbo had a pretty good idea. I'm going to take the body and bury it right now in that construction site. And then he goes there, and then Columbo was just there waiting for him. It's like, I fucking knew it. It's so good.
That's so fucking... I can't wait to see that episode. That sounds so good.
There's that one. There's I hear the episode itself kind of sucks, but I've seen the clip from, I think it's actually called like Columbo Gets Guillotined or something.
Let's go.
Where the episode basically ends, he's like talking to the killer, who's like a magician, And he's just like talking to the killer about how like he thinks like someone, like how the murder happened, and he's just casually like laying down in this like magician's guillotine thing, and he's just like, oh, here, can you put this on for me? Can you put this guillotine thing on for me? And he just keeps like talking casually, and then like he lets the magician who was the killer like do the guillotine thing, and then he gets up and he's like, you know how I know you're the killer? Because I switched the labels on this panel so that you wouldn't kill me.
Jesus Christ! That means that is so insane. That means if Columbo was wrong, he'd be dead.
Yup.
What the fuck? This fucking scrunkly little Scrunk Columbo is such a fucking creature. A little fucking rumpled up plastic piece of garbage of a human being. What a fucking weirdo.
I fucking love him.
He's like everyone's grandpa, except like he's the grandpa you wish you had.
Another one of my favorite episodes. I can fucking talk about Columbo for a whole episode.
This is the Columbusode.
One of my favorite episodes is, I think it's like the last episode of the first season, is this dude who works at like some kind of chemical plant. He's the killer. Mm-hmm. And he is a fucking insane person. He is an annoying dipshit. And basically he puts like a bomb in a cigarette case, and that's how he does the murder. And Columbo, or not a cigarette, like a cigar case. And Columbo for the whole episode is like, talks about like, oh, how he took a cigar case with him, but we can't find the cigar case. Maybe it disappeared. Maybe it got destroyed. Maybe it was a bomb. And so the episode ends with like, he's like, oh, we found this. And like, they find like the body, and the killer comes down because like he killed his father or whatever. And the Columbo comes out like, oh, we found the cigar case. And I guess it wasn't a bomb after all. The cigar case that the killer used with a bomb. Is like, the cigar case was a bomb. Okay, let's take this rail car back up with you. And he takes the killer and like someone else up with him. And then while they're in this rail car, Columbo and the other dude start like trying to get the cigar case open, because the killer had rigged it so that when it opened, it explodes. And while they're opening it, the killer is just freaking the fuck out. And then they get it open, and it was like, I guess we know who the killer is. Because it was just a fake.
God.
It was just a normal cigar box.
I just want to watch more of that shows. I just want to watch more right now. It's just a really well structured drama about crime.
Yep. And each episode's like an hour and a half too.
Yeah, like they're basically movies.
Yeah.
In fact, the first couple were movies.
I honestly skipped the 2 pilots. I heard they weren't very good, so I just kind of skipped to the Steven Spielberg episode as my first Columbo experience. And that was a good one.
The pilots are okay. I wouldn't say that there's much to like. They Columbo proper is when it gets strong, because that's when Peter Falk figures out who the character is. Mm-hmm. But the pilots are pretty watchable. Okay. Especially considering the time when they came out, because like old TV sucks.
Yes. That is a thing. Old TV does suck. I am convinced Columbo is the only good TV show from before the 90s. Maybe Star Trek. I don't know. I'm not watching that shit. I'll watch 1,000 episodes of One Piece before I watch Star Trek.
Yeah, like I love science fiction. Okay, I adore it. There's nothing about Star Trek that's ever looked appealing to me.
I'm sure I could probably watch like The Next Generation and find enjoyment in it. I don't doubt that.
Yeah,
but I don't wanna.
Yeah, like the type of people who really like Star Trek are people I don't want to talk to.
Like Egg.
Yeah. Also, like Pat. Like these are the creatures who waste their life on space communism, and that's cringe.
Hell yeah.
I do. Before we move on to the the topic of the episode, going through the anime and just talking about the anime that we liked this year. I do want to quickly, reluctantly, admit that Moth was right about something.
Oh no.
I recently, at this point, it's been a month and a half, got into audiobooks. And I did so because Nicole was just like, "Hey, yo, this book series I really like. It's on Audible. In that schwacky. I never finished it. I'm gonna start it." And then she started it, and she started talking about how good it was. And it's one of those. It's surprisingly the entire trilogy is just free on Audible when you have a paid membership. So I got in, I started listening to it, and I realized I really like audiobooks. It's like the best thing, the best parts of podcasts, but without any of the boring lulls.
Yeah.
And I was just like, yo, what's a good one? And Moth recommended me a book called The Way of Kings. And you hear a title like that, and you know Moth recommended it, and suddenly you're thinking, please don't be about how, like, the women be shopping. Please don't be about how women be shopping. And it is not, in fact, about how women be shopping. It is easily one of the greatest pieces of fantasy fiction I've ever had the pleasure of experiencing. Holy shit.
Based. This
book is, first off, the first book, 45 hours long, the audiobook. If you're not familiar with how the length of normal audiobooks, your average audiobook for like a normal sized book, maybe 10 hours, maybe 15. Yeah. This is 45 hours.
Moth be reading long books.
Which is weird. Moth be listening to long books. We all know he can't read. But this story is dense with world building, has really well written characters that are multifaceted. It introduced concepts that don't pay off for like 20 hours, and when they start paying off, it's not obvious. Like there's a magic system, and there's a main character who is someone who can use that magic system, but he doesn't even start to realize he can until you're 10 hours from the end of the book. This book is just like, legitimately, if you have Audible or if you really like fantasy, this book is kind of insanely good. And I was thinking, the reason why I thought to brought it up is because you were talking about how at work you were watching One Piece because there wasn't much to do. I work in an auto parts store, and I'd say about 80% of the time there's nothing to do. So I've just been standing with a little wireless earbud in my ear, listening to this audiobook, and everyone's been like, "Yeah, is Mike okay?" Because like, I just stare off into space with like this like look that I'm in pain, I guess. I've had several of my coworkers just be like, "Hey, you need to talk. Is everything like, you good?" And I'm like, "Oh yeah, no, I'm listening to. I just learned about how the girl who's the ward of the princess is starting to see people with no heads, but where the head's supposed to be, there's just flaming glyphs, but she can only see it when she uses her photographic memory to draw pictures of the moment." And which is like,
and then you get sent to HR.
But yeah, no, 100%. If you like fantasy, like if you don't, I'll tell you right now, if you don't want to listen to an audiobook of this book, just buy this fucking book. This book is fucking awesome. And we all need to bully Egg into getting an Audible account because Egg wants to listen to it, but refuses to actually like buy it. So like, just get a fucking Audible account, you weird creature, instead of waiting for it to appear at the library.
Audible is not free with Android Prime, right? That's like a separate thing.
No, it isn't free with Android Prime. You do, I think, qualify for some extra credits, which credits is the when you have a paid membership. There's the mid-tier paid membership gives you like a free book every month. I like the service so much that I actually pay for the version that gives you 2 free books a month, just because it's so good. And there's a lot of really great free stuff on there too. That's the crazy part. Audible's totally fucking worth it. Hey, right now, Audible, if you're listening to this, come on. I know some people you guys sponsored. We ain't got a lot of listeners, but I'll take the shekels. I'm using your service, baby. Give me the promo code. Give me the money.
Bro, you sponsored Demolition D. Okay, come on now. We have to look better for you than that.
That dude don't even make videos anymore. At least we kind of do sometimes. But yeah,
you think Audible, you think anyone from Audible actually watched one of his videos before they just sent him an email?
They watched the Boku no Pico episode and they're like, "This is the guy.
This is it."
Yeah, I just wanted to get that off my chest because if I didn't admit that Moth was right about something at some point, I knew it would start haunting me, like a little gremlin on my back that would eventually kill me.
Yeah, Moth's trying to get people together to watch to do a Bell episode, but I don't know that's going to happen.
A Bell episode is going to happen.
That is going to happen. Maybe not this soon though.
Fuck no! Like Moth is a crazy person who just go to the movie theater during like when the pandemic is getting the worst. The pandemic is currently worse than it's ever been. God damn.
But to be fair, Moth lives in a fucking frozen wasteland that apparently has a movie theater where he watched Belle, and I bet he was the only person in that movie theater.
Yeah, okay, you know what? This is a weeb thing. You're right.
That's why I'm waiting. Like, I'm gonna wait a couple weeks, and then I'm gonna see Belle in theaters. I'm trying to see Spider-Man because it's been like a full ass month, and I know when I go see Spider-Man, ain't nobody gonna be there. I still haven't seen Spider-Man.
These are both 2 movies I really want to see, especially Spider-Man. I know all the spoilers and it's really cool.
I know like the one that everyone wants to see the Spider-Man movie for, but I don't know anything else besides that.
I know the big spoiler at the very end, and it's like, ooh, that's pretty cool.
Oh, okay, cool.
But yeah, we're totally gonna do a Bell episode. We're probably waiting until it's on Blu-ray. Normally I would say sorry, folks, but I don't think there's that many people that care. I'm being honest. Like, I love Mamoru Hosoda films, but also, how many people even know that's the name of the director?
I mean, but the fact that it's in theaters in America is kind of a big deal. So, I don't know.
I mean, yeah, but like that's because G-Kids is doing it. And G-Kids does theater releases of anime. Like, that's pretty common. Yeah,
but for it to be in my town, that's a pretty wide release.
They've been making a lot of partnerships.
Okay.
They're the reason why Promare went to theaters. And every single time there's a big movie release, more and more places have it. Like, before Promare, when I went to see Silent Voice, I had to go all the way to Memphis just to see that.
Yeah, I had to drive like an hour out to see Broly.
Yeah, exactly. But like when Promare came out, G Kids had like partnered with our local theater, and bam, they had it.
Damn.
Like they're making the schmoves. They're trying to make anime happen in the U.S. and bless up to them.
I really hope Jujutsu Kaisen 0 gets a theatrical run.
God, I really hope so too. I really want to see that.
Yep. But anime.
Yes, we are talking about anime, dumbass. Stupid bitch.
2021.
All right, so if you're familiar with the normal structure for our best of the year episode, I know you aren't, you dumb bitch. Shut the fuck up. I unfortunately just need to let you know we obviously can't, because normally Doku, what we do, there's usually 3 of us. We go through every notable show, we just talk about it a little bit, and then we have like an all holds barred brawl trying to decide what the best show is. And it's a really fun episode normally. We can't do that this time. There's no like third person here to act like an intermediary or a tiebreaker. So instead of that, I figure we'll just have, and instead of going through every notable show, we're just gonna sit here and we're just gonna talk about the shows that both I and Doku watched and finished this year that we really liked. And I'm gonna start things off by talking about the 2nd season of Zombieland Saga Revenge. This show kicks fucking ass. Doku, have you watched any Zombieland Saga?
I watched the first episode of the 2nd season where we did the seasonal.
Let's go.
It seems really cool. It seems like something I would really enjoy.
I think you would.
I also saw that one clip of the dub that I've seen people sharing around, and that shit looked funny as fuck.
Oh, I didn't see a clip of the dub. Oh no, I have. Yeah.
The voice actor for the main dude seems really good.
So if you think he seems good, you should watch the Japanese, because like I need you to understand the voice actor for the P-san of the show. He is dedicated to the character to the point where he does in-character interviews wearing the outfit.
That's good.
He's amazing. And like he's so good that the same ones that you were impressed with the dub, I saw those clip and I was like, he's trying a little too hard to be like the Japanese one. Bless up to him, but he's trying a little too hard. Zombieland Saga is... So I secretly really like idol shows.
Let's go.
I say secretly because they all suck. There's not a good one. Except for Zombieland Saga. Because Zombieland Saga, like, puts... it there. So with the idol show, there's, like, the characters, the music, and the writing / comedy. Zombieland Saga puts enough emphasis on all 3. So, like, you have genuine bops and like, really solid character focus episodes that, like, flesh out these zombie ladies in such a way that they become more realistic. And it's just an incredibly fun time. And the fucking music is so fucking good, and the like quality of the music tracks with like their ability to be a team. So like the very first episode, the only one of the zombie girls has gained sentience, and the other ones are just shambling corpses. So to like put on a show while they're shambling corpses, they just like do a death metal song, and they like shove a microphone in the zombie girls' faces, and so they just like do like voices like they're screaming, and then they're like fucking shaking their head, and like it makes this like it creates their first like obsessive fans from metalheads, who then like go to every show, and like the next episode they get a gig performing at an old folks home. And the song they perform is an ad-libbed rap. It's so like like the best thing about the rap in the second episode, and I'm talking about the first season. The second season is just more of the same and in a very good way. I'm basically at this point selling Doku on it. When they're doing the rap in the second episode, the P-san like sees that they're arguing, and he just starts he picks up a microphone and he just starts beatboxing to give them the beat to rap to. This show is special, and the second season ends with like second season reveals that there is a curse on the Saga Prefecture, because that's the point of the show. These zombies are trying to financially save the Saga Prefecture in Japan by making it famous. The second season reveals that there's a curse that says that the end of days will come before Saga sees any good things happen to it. And the girls put on their last show, and it actually goes well. Everything looks great, and then it ends with aliens invading.
That's good. That's great. I love it.
And apparently, there's going to be a movie that will be the finale, and the key art of that movie is just one of the girls holding hands with a tiny gray alien.
That's good. Oh, that reminds me of another thing about One Piece and the manga. The One Piece manga. So the One Piece manga. Sorry, y'all. You're going to have to deal with Mike and I's ADHD again.
It happens.
So the manga has these cover stories where at the beginning of each chapter there's like a little piece of art that Oda does. And some of them are like continuing stories. There's one where a past villain goes to the moon and meets aliens.
Huh.
So there are aliens in the world of One Piece.
Are they like...
And like these cover stories eventually get tied into the main story. So we're just kind of waiting for these aliens to show up in the main story.
What if the One Piece is just aliens?
Could be. It's probably not it. It's probably knowledge about what the fuck the 100-year void is.
And this is listen, as someone who's not read any One Piece, and has watched a tiny chunk of One Piece, I think One Piece is unironically going to be the friends we made along the way.
No. It is going to be the history of the world of One Piece.
That's cringe. I think
no, okay, so in One Piece... Sorry, y'all. In One Piece, there is this 100-year... It's called the 100-year void, where like no one knows what the fuck happened. There's a 100-year void in history when no one knows what happens. The only thing anyone knows is at the end of the 100 years, the world government gets founded.
Huh.
And the world government has made it illegal to research the 100-year void. One of the character, Nico Robin, her backstory is all about how her village tried to research the 100-year void, and her whole the island she was from just got genocided by the government.
Let's go.
So yeah, and so like the main thing, even in the story, has been like, yeah, the One Piece Laugh Tale is probably just going to have what the fuck happened in that 100-year void.
So, is One Piece a story about how the government's bad?
Yes.
And this is the show that weird people online think is non-political?
One Piece, like, Oda has posters of communist leaders in his office.
Let's go!
One Piece is incredibly leftist.
Yo, I might have to read One Piece now.
The main villain of my favorite arc is basically the CIA.
I'm gonna fucking read One Piece just so that I can tell weird online leftists that I have read theory.
Because a huge moment in that arc is Luffy declaring war on the world government. And there's another part where later in the series where slavery is a thing that the world government allows because they go to a human auction. And Luffy, I almost called him One Piece. Luffy punches a member of the royal family in the face.
Based. Wait, there's a royal family?
There is a royal family of people called the Celestial Dragons, and they all look inbred.
Oh, they got that Habsburg jaw going?
They all look like ugly pieces of shit. And they basically like let their slaves carry them.
They're just like me.
They're just allowed to do whatever the fuck they want. Like the Navy or anybody can't do anything about it. And Luffy just punches someone in the face for shooting his friend, who's a fishman, who they are racist towards.
Let's go. Speaking of racism.
Yeah!
Why don't you tell me about Snow White Notes, which probably has nothing to do with racism?
The Snow White Notes is an anime about a sad boy who plays the shamisen. It is about this dude whose grandfather dies, and he gets really upset about it. And his grandfather told him before he dies, that stop playing the shamisen unless you can make your own sound.
Mm-hmm.
And he gets upset and leaves and goes to the city. And basically the show is just about him learning to come into his own on the shamisen, while also because his grandfather was like a famous shamisen player. While also coming to grips with the fact that like he has this expectation looming over him to play in his grandfather's style, which culminates in this tournament arc.
Okay.
Where he's playing this piece, and he starts the piece in his grandfather's style, and like the audience is excited about it, but there's like one character who's a really good shamisen player who like actually knows his shit, who gets fucking furious. He hears like the main character play like earlier in the series, and he just gets furious with him because he like his heart's not in it at all. He's like, you have a lot of talent, but you're just not gonna. You're like playing someone else's style. You're just playing the notes without like feeling anything, basically.
Yeah.
But like he starts piecing the grandfather's style, and then he stops and just like develops his own style in the middle of the piece. And he feels really sick. Yeah, it's cool. And he feels really happy with himself, and it's great. And like for like this whole arc, he's like, I really don't care about competition. I just kind of want to see what I can do and like develop my own style.
Okay.
And then the arc ends with him coming in second. No, he comes in second against this other dude. And he gets really upset about it. Like more upset than he expected to be. And the show, like the season ends with him like running out of this school, because the tournament takes place at a school, just crying and being like, fuck, I actually want to get better at shamisen. And it's good. It's full of like really good moments. He's like the only actually good shamisen player at his school. Even though there is like a shamisen club, he has to teach the rest of the students there how to play the shamisen. And then they enter like a group competition all together. It's really good. It's really sweet.
You know, this is kind of... Because I watched the first episode of the show, and I did like it, though I didn't finish... didn't watch more than that. This kind of reminds me, have you ever watched March Comes In Like a Lion?
I've heard of it. But no, I haven't seen it.
So March Comes In Like the Lion, like a lion, is kind of similar in that it's about a character who's really good at an obscure Japanese thing. In March Comes In Like the Lion, it's shogi, and their struggles to be a really good shogi player and deal with also their internal conflicts and trauma. I am gonna highly recommend you watch that because there's gonna be another season of that sometime in the near future, and you'll want to be caught up for that because that show is special. And I think that might be why I didn't watch more of Snow White Notes. Not because it was bad, or even that I was internally comparing it to March Comes In Like a Lion. It didn't catch me, you know?
Yeah, that's fair.
I did like it though. Like that that did seem like a pretty good show.
Yeah, I like it. Also, the opening is a banger because it's by the people who did the first opening for Dr. Stone, which is also a banger. Dr. Stone is also Dr. Stone's cool. You also watch Dr. Stone.
Yeah, there was another season of that this year that I watched an episode of, and it was more interesting than the previous season.
Yes, the Stone Wars.
Yes.
Is when Dr. Stone gets really good. At least the manga.
But we ain't talking about Stone Wars, no.
No.
We're gonna talk about ssss.dynazenon. Because I can't not talk about the best anime of the year and not talk about my goddamn fucking good shit. A lot of people don't like this fucking show.
I watched the first 4 episodes because I'm going to try to watch it all before we recorded, and then I didn't.
So, Dynazenon and Gridman, they're both really weird.
Gridman's good.
Yes.
So, I watched Gridman, and I was told Gridman's kind of boring. Who? Gridman is so fucking good.
Frog said that. Person who really likes Gridman also said the beginning's boring. And the reason why, so Gridman and Dynazenon, they're 2 shows that are trying to combine flavors together, the same flavors, which is anime and tokusatsu. In Gridman, it is taking the structure of an anime TV show, but with the tropes of tokusatsu. So in Gridman, for example, when a lot of the big monsters, they move around as if there are people inside rubber suits. And it creates and there's also there's a one monster who's just a matte painting. And it's trying to be goofy and fun. And then it then comes back into this more anime style towards the end, where it starts to become heady and interesting. And ssss.dynazenon is trying to be tokusatsu with anime tropes. It's trying to do the same thing but opposite. So you have a giant robot, but they pretty much just fight monsters of the week every week, and there's not much character growth. But what is there is really strong. Dynazenon is really good show. It has really great animation. It has really attractive character designs. And I mean that in both the nudge, nudge, wink, wink way, and also in the wow, that design is just really good way. And it has twists, because the thing with Gridman, the original show, is that the entire time, you're kind of just waiting for the ball to drop, and you're trying to see what this character's deal is. What's Akane doing the whole time. In Dynazenon, they expect you to go into it with that thought. So the entire time you're watching it, you're thinking to yourself, is this character evil? Is this character secretly good? But no, every character pretty much like they wear their like motivations on their shoulder, and it even like kind of subverts you, thinking that there's gonna be a huge twist, and there is some twist. There's a really cool twist about halfway through the show. But all of this is culminating in what is going to be the Gridman and Dynazenon movie, which I'm really looking forward to. This is just a really good show. It's fantastic. If you like Gridman, you should really watch it. It has one of the coolest combination designs I've ever seen for a show like this. It's so fucking cool, it makes me come and shit myself. I haven't gotten over it. It's fucking insane. Yeah, watch Dynazenon and stop complaining about it, you fucking stupid poo-poo babies.
Simply growing attention span.
That's the thing. Like, the motherfuckers who complain about season 1 of Gridman, like, oh man, the first half's boring. No, bitch, just fucking watch the show. Just fucking sit down and enjoy yourself, you stupid child.
Put your fun hat on.
Exactly. In this house, we have fun.
That's another thing. Number 4 on my top 5 anime of the list is Action Button's Cyberpunk 2077 review.
Me and Nicole recently went all the way through that, including the sections that we skipped because of the viewing order.
Yeah, so I did. So I watched it twice, which was supposed to. So I did what he asked you to do, which is you watch the first part, you pick 2 parts, and you watch the last part. I did that, and then I went back and watched all the ones I didn't watch before.
Yeah,
that review is really fucking good.
Yeah, it's a really good.
I wouldn't say it's my favorite of his, but it's really good. I still think Tokimeki Memorial is like one of the best videos on YouTube.
It's hard to beat Tokimeki Memorial. That video is insane.
But anyway,
you know what else is insane? You for watching Backflip, a fucking sports anime.
Yeah, but that's my number 2, so we're not going to talk about it yet.
Oh, okay.
We're going to talk about Komi Can't Communicate, which is my number 4.
That's your... Oh, fuck you. Komi should be higher than that.
Komi's great. I like the other 3 better, but Komi's fucking great.
Komi is it is a show that is special to me. As I very heavily relate to Komi because the whole premise of the show is that she's dealing with social anxiety, and the whole point of the show is that she's gonna make 100 friends. She just so happens to go to a school that is specifically designed so that everyone there is eccentric and annoying. And it is just, there's not much to say about Komi because like it is super high quality, but it's a comedy anime.
Yeah, it's just a nice comedy rom-com.
The thing is though, it hasn't even gotten to, because I've read a lot of Komi. I'm not caught up, but I've read like 300 chapters of Komi. It's not gotten to the funniest bits, the funniest characters, or the best romantic stuff.
Which season comes out like next month, I think?
April.
Okay. I know it was like super soon.
I'm kind of curious how quick this show's going to go, because if they speed it up a lot, the second season could get to the second cultural festival, which the second cultural festival is when the big shit happens. That shit's fucking... That's when the next season will introduce a character who will become Komi's romantic rival. And there's just a great climax at that festival, and it's super good. And Komi, they're in a play, and Komi tells Tadano that she loves him, but they're in a play, so it was just a play. Ahaha, serious. It wasn't real. It just, no, takesies backsies. It's really good.
I'm excited. I loved this show. This was my favorite show from last season. I think I watched like 3 shows last season. I guess we can talk about that in the next seasonal. But Komi's fucking great. It is just cute. It's funny. Fucking what's the name of the non-binary character? What's their name?
Nanajimi.
Nanajimi is the best character. They're great.
They're fucking gremlin.
I love them. I also want to kill them sometimes.
So I believe another reading on their name is like cockroach, which is why they're like a weird fucking creature, and also why they have a double antenna.
That makes sense. I really like the joke in the Water Park episode where they're like walking into the girls' changing room, and the main character is like Najimi. I know, or not. It's Najimi or Najima.
It is Najimi because it is a play on Osama Najimi, which is Japanese for childhood friend.
Okay, so yeah, he like grabs Najimi and is like, I know what you're fucking doing. You're not going to the girls' changing room. You're going to the gender neutral changing room.
I love that bit because it would have been really easy to just be like, you're not a non-binary, you're going to the guys' room. But no, they instead put Najimi in the closet where all non-binary people belong.
Yeah. It's also like, besides the second episode, the only other time in the show where they actually like bring up the fact that they're non-binary.
Yeah, which is nice. It's pretty low key. I'm not a fan of the manga translation that I'm used to. Anytime Najimi is brought up, they always the translation always goes he/she, which is like, ugh.
Bro, just say they, please. I am begging you.
come the fuck on,
bro.
And at one point they did the transition to they, and they like added like 3 pages onto it, just being like, yeah, we're gonna start calling them they, and but I promise it's only because saying he/she just takes up too much space. It's not for any social justice issues. I promise.
Bro,
so fucking weird.
Weebs are fucking weird.
So true.
But Komi's great. Fucking watch it. Just watch it. Just fucking watch it.
Yeah. Hey, if you don't feel it, that's fine. But watch it.
No, ow. If you don't feel it, you're wrong.
You know what? Yeah, that's true.
Watch it.
Next show that I want to breach the subject on is a show that most people did watch, which you joined the podcast after the first season already aired, so obviously you haven't seen it. It's a show called Jobless Reincarnation. Mushoku Tensei, for weebs that will complain that I'm using the English name. This is... I do not like isekai. Isekai is boring. It's like, it's usually just used as like a shoehorned way to like put video game mechanics in your anime, manga, or light novel. Because
question.
Yeah.
Is The Matrix an isekai?
The Matrix is a reverse isekai.
Okay. Continue.
For another reverse isekai, see Recreators, a bop of a show. But we're not talking about Recreators. I could totally go on a tangent about Recreators though, because that show's about like fictional characters that come to the real world and have to deal with the existential trauma of realizing that they are fictional characters. That show's nuts good, but we aren't talking about that.
I did discover recently, because my wife played it, that Ni no Kuni 2 is a isekai about the President of the United States.
Yes.
I didn't know that.
And the president, not only is it a isekai about the president of the United States, but you're not even the main character. You're like, the president of the United States is a side character to the actual main character. It's really hilarious. Weird. But this show it's about like a dude who died in his late 30s. And he lived like just an awful life. He was a NEET. He stayed at home. He dropped out of school. He was fat. He was a loser. All those things that are just fucking, yeah, it's an isekai protagonist. And he dies and he gets a chance to be reincarnated. He doesn't get the chance. After dying, he then wakes up in the body of a baby, a newborn baby. Completely confused as to what's going on. His new parents are speaking a language he does not understand. And it is one of the few isekai with like it's really well built world, and also like pretty good characters. And the one blemish on the show is that it is disastrously and creepily horny.
Oh, no.
Yeah, this 35-year-old that's stuck inside of a growing boy will just occasionally do a lot of weird horny things at, like, in-world characters that are technically, like, a year or two older or younger than him, but in reality are, like, 35 years younger than him. So it's weird, but also the show is about him growing as a person and realizing that those behaviors are inappropriate. It's really great. It's well written. The characters are complex. Like I can't recommend this the show enough. Like, if you're someone who hates isekai like me, and you've just been avoiding the shows like this because you're like, it's isekai, I'm not gonna fucking like it. This is an amazing show. You just have to deal with weird horny shit every now and again. It's weird often. But like, you get used to it. Like, it's anime, of course you get used to it. We all do.
That's just kind of like a thing you have to come to terms with when it comes to anime, is like, sometimes you'll get horny. Just gotta kind of roll with it.
It's one of those things that, like, whenever I see someone who's not knee deep in anime complain about how weird and horny anime is, like, I'm always like, they just don't get it because they don't watch anime. But at the same time, I remind myself, yeah, but that doesn't mean that, like, it's okay that anime is weird and horny a lot. And anime's gotten a lot better about that in, like, the past, like, 10 years or so, but it's still, when it happens, it's like, come on. From that show, which again, I do highly recommend it. Like, yeah, it's got a 35-year-old man leering at a child in the body of another child, though, so it's less weird. But then you explain how it's less weird, and you just sound like you're really weird.
Hell yeah.
We go from that to the Godzilla.
Yeah. But for his Godzilla Singular Point. This show is a smart show for smart people. I don't know why I like it. Because it ain't for me. I'll tell you that much.
I watched I think I watched like 3 or 4 episodes of this and I really liked it, but because I love Godzilla, and I never went back to it because I just never found the time to. I've been meaning to, though.
So this show it's about scientists.
Yes.
Being smart.
Okay.
And the writer is an actual smart person.
Let's go.
So it's not like technobabble. They're talking about like actual real scientific concepts and shit. And it all goes over my head. And it's shit that you actually have to kind of understand to understand the plot.
Ooh, I might actually... Okay, I'm like a big science boy. I might actually get a lot out of this.
but then fucking what's his name? Oh my god, the robot. What's his fucking
Jet Jaguar?
Yeah, but then Jet Jaguar walks around with a spear that has a scale from. God damn, I'm forgetting its name.
Godzilla?
No, Anarquius? That's his name?
I don't know.
But that has
Argeris.
Yeah, it has a scale from Argeris on it as a spearhead. And I clap.
I was one of the things I was kind of hoping is that Jet Jaguar's design would at some point improve. Does that ever happen, or he's just keep looking like kind of a dopey little guy?
It still looks like a dopey little guy for the whole show, and I love it. I love it so much.
I don't hate it, but man, I was kind of hoping he'd at least get some normal looking legs.
No, it's great. So I think they give him tracks, tank tracks for legs. Yeah. Eventually, from what I remember. But so late in the show, his AI changes.
Ooh.
To this weird baby voice.
Okay.
It's cool. It's actually really cool.
Oh, is it the that one girl's mascot character?
Yeah, it's the same voice as that. It's the same AI as that.
Okay.
It's not it's not the same character, but it's the same voice.
I definitely need to. I'll probably sit down and watch that with Nicole sometime soon. Whenever we finish the next show we're working on.
It is a good show. Godzilla has there's a super Godzilla form. They have another name for it, but there's a super Godzilla form at the end of that show. It looks sick as fuck. And the way they animate the atomic fire or the atomic breath is so fucking sick.
I'm really looking forward to it. I love Godzilla's one of my favorite things of all times.
This is a show for both smart people who can understand hard topic or hard science concepts, and also for people who like Godzilla. Because if you really like Godzilla, you will fucking love this show. There's a lot of Godzilla shit in this show.
Sounds like it's literally a show made for me. Because those are my two favorite things. I like hard science fiction, and I also like Big Lizard.
It's good. There are whole episodes that are nothing but just people talking science at each other. Nothing but people just talking theory at each other.
I'm really glad I didn't watch this weekly because if I had tried to watch this weekly and just got an episode that was all theory, I would have been enjoying it in the moment, and then at the end of the episode, I would have went, "That's it, that's it."
Also, the opening is a banger.
Let's go. Oh yeah, the opening does kick fucking ass.
Oh. Well, look at Netflix anime. It came out the season before Netflix actually started releasing things in the West weekly. Because with Komi and Blue Period, they were releasing it on Netflix in the West weekly. Yeah, whereas with Godzilla Singular Point, they waited until the show was over in Japan before bringing it over to the West.
Yeah, let's hope they keep doing that, because that is legitimately really great. Watching Komi every week was something really comfortable for me and Nicole to do.
Yeah, it was great. I love doing it. I loved watching Komi while my wife was play Pokemon on the Switch, and then every now and then she would go and be like, eh. That's how I inadvertently make my wife watch stuff. She got kind of invested in My Senpai's Annoying too.
Oh yeah, that show didn't make the list, but that was a pretty fun watch.
That was a good one. I'm excited. I will watch a second season of that show.
Do you think the cat girl is gonna fuck that little kid though?
I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it. That's weird. I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah, something
That show has some weird stuff in it. I don't want to talk about it. I think it's like episode 6 or something. It's the episode where that character gets introduced. The boy character gets introduced. Just going off on a tangent. So at the end of every episode, there's like a piece of art.
Oh, like yeah. And that one was the artist was a really famous porn artist, right?
Yeah, and he drew art of the boy, and you can see fucking his balls.
I remember me and Nicole were watching that, and like I wasn't paying attention to the screen, but she was like just like watching the EED. The EED's comfy, and then like it ends and the art fucking shows, and Nicole has this thing that she does when she sees something that is just like really shocking, where she'll go,
like gargle.
No, it's like the sound that happens when you punch the air out of someone.
Oh,
like Nicole just got destroyed, and it was really funny. And I had to like the picture disappeared before I looked at the screen, and she would like go back to the last episode. I have to show you that.
God, it's about like me when I watched fucking Super Mario Brothers, the Super Mario Brothers movie the other week. Did you know there's a 9/11 scene in that movie? I didn't. It fucking knocked the wind out of me.
Yeah, King Koopa caused 9/11.
Yes! There's a scene where, like, things start disappearing from the world, and the first thing they show is the Twin Towers disappearing.
God, that movie's unhinged. That movie's actually good, though. I don't care.
That movie's fucking great.
People complain like, "Oh man, it's not good." That movie fucks.
That movie is great if you just let it be.
Yes, exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, if you just let it be good, it will be good. Which sounds like a stupid statement, but like if you're cynical, then you're fucking stupid. If you go into the Super Mario Brothers movie being cynical, like this shit sucks, it's not like the fucking video games, then you're a dumb.
There's some pieces of media.
Enjoy yourself.
There's some pieces of media that you just cannot take seriously. You need to calm down and just fucking experience it, dude.
It is quoting the action button review of Cyberpunk 2077. You just gotta put your fun hat on. And use the fun hats. Fucking goddamn, what's the fucking word?
I think the tangent. I'm sorry, Doku. I think the tangent's over.
Yeah, no, it's over. My brain is fried. I'm sorry.
It's late at night. You know, we gotta get through this.
All right, what's your next one? Go.
My next one is a show I just finished today. It was gonna be my number one. But then I thought about it and realized that a different show was better than it. Vivi Floret Eye's Song. This show fucks, it kicks, it comes, it smashes. So this show is about, the very first episode establishes that at one point in the far off future, 100 years from when the rest of the first episode takes place, AI have gone berserk and are killing all humans. And a scientist sends back in time, he develops an AI and the ability to send AI programming backwards in time, and he does so to prevent the AI rampage in 100 years by preventing moments in the timeline that led to what they assume caused the outbreak to happen. And he does this by telling the AI to focus around a song, like a musical performer AI called Diva. And the reason why he does this is because she is the first AI, the first AI with like a full mechanical body, and B, is one of the few AI that still exists in modern day. Or not the few AI, but from back then, like that far back, that still exists in modern day. And so he's like, okay, I know this AI is going to exist in 100 years. And also, as it turns out, he has a personal connection to this AI. I'm gonna send my little software back in time, and they're going to prevent AI from going on a rampage. And the very first thing they do is prevent a human rights act that would give AI their own autonomous rights.
Let's go.
I've described the first arc of this show to people as like a slave going back in time. A black person going back in time to convince a slave to help prevent the Civil War, so that slavery can still happen. Now, granted, that's just like kind of the plot of the first arc. There's like wider implications to AI gaining these human rights that caused some bullshit to happen. Specifically, a terrorist cell to gain in power that opposes AI. So like that's actually why, and they actually do more or less like correct that fact that they did racism against themselves. But yeah, no, this show is awesome. It's every 2 to 3 episodes is its own arc, and then they skip ahead like 5 to 15 years in the timeline. So like there are these clean breaks where arcs end and they move on to the next arc, where like you have brand new characters with the only characters that like return are the AI from the future named Matsumoto and Diva / Vivi. She has 2 different names depending on what she's doing. And it's just a really phenomenal story about like time travel, science fiction, AI, music as well. Like there's a lot of really great music, and this is by Studio Wit, the people who did Vinland Saga and the good seasons of Attack on Titan.
Yo, let's go.
This show looks amazing. Like there are some like random shots in the show because like the Vivi is an AI. She's like artificial. There are some shots that like are just like close-ups of her where she looks like a porcelain doll. Like she's trying to like grasp the concept of humanity while looking like a doll, and it's like this is so fucking good. And then there's a shot where there's just kung fu action that's insane and really fucking amazing. This show's phenomenal. Like this show's great. If it wasn't for another show, it'd be my favorite show from last year. Like this show, you should watch this show. It's fucking great.
I plan on watching it. It seemed like a show, like what I watched, it seemed like a show that would be good, like binging it rather than watching it week by week.
Yeah.
So that'll probably be what I watch after One Piece.
It is a show that is both really good to binge, but also because it's like structured in such a way that every few episodes is a new arc, you could put it down for like a while. Like between me watching the last arc yesterday and today, and me watching the rest, was like 6 months, something like. But like it still worked for me. But it is also incredibly bingeable, and there are little details that feed into each other where you will notice, like, oh, that character is the son of another character from another arc. That's really cool.
Neat.
But yeah, you guys should watch Vivi, and you should try to sell me on Backflip.
Okay. Number 2 favorite show I watched last year was Backflip. It is a sports anime about
Gay boys.
About men's rhythmic gymnastics.
Gay homosexual.
Yes. And the show is just good. So it's the main character is this freshman who just when he's in middle school just like kind of stumbles into a men's rhythm gymnastics competition, watches it, and is like, I want to fucking do that. I want to learn how to do that. I want to go do that. And then he gets in high school and he joins the men's rhythmic gymnastic club, which is 4 other dudes, and that's it. That's all who's there. And all the other people know their shit. They are really good at doing flips. And he's starting from 0. And everyone there is so incredibly supportive of him. And it's just so, they're genuinely happy that he is there. And they're like, every time he like makes any kind of like improvements or anything, they're just so proud of him. And they're just happy for him. And they're all such good characters. The first season's only 12 episodes. It ends with them going to like a rhythm or to a rhythmic gymnastics competition, and like right before the competition, the main character like sprains his hand. I can't remember. He sprains his hand or he sprains his ankle, but he like sprains one of the two. So the doctor tells him, "Hey, if you do this competition, there is a chance you will never be able to do gymnastics again in your life," which is what happened to their coach. And it creates a lot of really good moments. I fucking cried like every other episode. Because like basically every member of the team gets like their own episode where they give room to breathe. Including the coach, and it's just really good. They announced that like the next portion of the story is going to be a movie, so I'm very fucking excited about that. So this show is great. Fucking watch this show. And also they introduced like a rival gymnastic team, and they're all really good. They're all like just great characters.
So what amount of your enjoyment of the show is that it's pretty gay?
15%. The show itself is actually not gay. It's just very it's just pretty boys. I don't know what to tell you.
Frujo bait is what we'd call it in the industry.
Fuck up.
You're just telling me to shut up because you know I'm right. You don't want to admit it.
So great. No. Watch Backflip. Please watch Backflip. This is like I said, this is one of my favorite shows from last season or from last year. My favorite show of that. No, wait. It was not my favorite show of that season because this other show happened. But the show's fucking great. Just watch it. It's great. It's wholesome.
I will say this. I watched the first episode of it, and I thought it was pretty good for a sports anime. I don't like sports anime, so I didn't keep watching. That's the only reason. I
think I discovered that sports anime could be my shit.
You should then watch Ice Shield 21, because that's about football, and I know what goes on in that.
I don't know what the fuck goes on in football. I learned that I should probably watch Yuri on Ice, because I hear that's a good one.
Okay, were you recommended that because it was a sports anime or because it's incredibly gay?
I don't know.
In case you don't know, like I joke that Backflips has like some gay coding in it. Yuri on Ice is explicitly gay.
You're selling me on the show.
Yeah, so
much.
There's the two like main leads are like dating before the end of the show. I hope you enjoy it. A lot of Fujoshi like that show.
Let's go. I'm like, because one of my best friends loves that show. He's been talking about that since I was in college.
Is your best friend bisexual or gay?
No, he's not. He is the straightest. No, he's not. But he is a self-proclaimed straight man.
You should sit him down and just let him know that it's okay. That it's okay. It's okay, man.
He's listening to this. It's fun.
But from really not really gay, but like gay flavored chips to racism flavored chips. Let's talk about 86, baby.
Let's go.
86
We'll come
is my
back to gay in a moment.
86 is my favorite show from last year. Hands down. It's technically not over, so when the best of 2022 comes around, I can technically say that it was on that list too, because it's not ending till March, baby. Let's go.
What if it has a bad ending? What if the ending just completely ruins it? What would you do then? You'll look like a fucking clown, won't you?
I won't, because I don't believe that an ending can completely ruin something, because the journey was so fucking good. 86 as a show is only flawed. The only real flaw in 86 is that in the second episode, our main character basically looks at the screen and says, "Racism bad," in case you don't get the point of this story we're about to tell. Which, on one hand, thanks. I didn't need that, considering the first episode frames your whole society around being white nationalists and how that's a bad thing.
Listen, Mike, we discuss this later. People who watch anime don't understand subtlety.
See, that's exactly what I was about to say. The fact that I know anime fans don't understand subtlety means that I'm okay with the second episode explaining the moral of the story. Because then the rest of the show just allows itself to like develop its characters and have like really great drama and action. And there's spider mechs. Spider mechs are cool. They're fucking sick. And the music, Sawano did the fucking soundtrack to this. So there's fucking Sawano drops in the action where it just like fucking hits you right whenever the fucking music fucking hit. Oh, it's so good. And like there's CG for the spider tanks, and it's really well animated. And the cinematography is insane. Like, this show is genuinely special. I think the second season has some pacing issues because of COVID, and also potentially because of budget. They had to delay it till March. But that doesn't stop it from being definitely one of my... This first season alone is one of the best pieces of animation I've ever seen. And it ends in such a way where you could treat it like the ending if you don't like the rest. Which, if season 2 ends really shittily somehow, I'll just do that. I'll tell people to watch the first season, just like I do with Psychopaths. Everyone listening to this needs to watch 86. That show is phenomenal. Now let's talk about your fucking gay vampire show.
Oh, okay. So my favorite anime from last year was The Case Study of Vanitas. This is a show about two dudes. One of them, named Noe, is a vampire.
No way.
He is a vampire himbo. And he's great. I love him. And then the other character is a human. A human who has inherited the name of the vampire of the Blue Moon, which is this ancient vampire who basically just spent his life hunting down other vampires and killing them. Based. He was like a vampire serial killer, basically.
He's a vampire.
Yeah. But in this world, vampires have been losing their true name and basically becoming corrupt. And Vanitas is a vampire doctor. He's a human, but he's a vampire doctor. Is how he describes himself. And so his whole thing is that he wants to help save vampires. He doesn't care what any of them has to say about it. No Way and Vanitas. They meet in the first episode, and then they kind of just like follow each other around. They fucking hate each other. That's a thing that like is like consistent throughout the first season, is that they don't like each other. Noe actually tells Vanitas, I fucking hate you. You are annoying and arrogant, but you're interesting. And I'm interested to see what happens when I'm around you. So I'm just going to stick around.
That's the gayest thing I've ever heard.
Oh yeah, it's gay as fuck. And then Vanitas is like, yeah, you're fucking stupid too, but you know what? You protect me, so let's go.
That's literally the dynamic me and Nicole have.
It's great. Every character is fucking hot.
Yeah, I remember you doing, like, when you were watching this show, I explicitly remember you thirsting very often for several characters.
Yes, all of them are hot. It is insane. The music is fucking great. The opening and ending themes are wonderful. The ending theme is super fucking gay. Especially the English version of the ending theme.
Seems like there's been a lot of gay anime lately.
Good.
There's a show from this season that I don't think is very good. But the first episode, it's just like classic 2006 Fujoshi shit.
That's cool. But there's a second season of this show. Like, I think it's already started.
I think it was. It's from the season that's currently going. I didn't put it on our seasonal list because no one watched it except for you.
That's fine. That is fair. I'm still going to watch it and talk about it.
100%. If you want to talk about it next season, I'll give you full reign to. Our next episode.
Hell yeah. But the show's fucking great. It has wonderfully animated action sequences. Every character is they're hot, and they're all likable. Especially the Noe and Vanitas. They're fucking great. Vanitas is just like an arrogant, stubborn piece of shit. I fucking love him. He's great.
He's just like me for real.
He's wonderful. He's one of the best characters from last year. Because they're both just fucking idiots.
I think I'll maybe will give this one another shot. I liked the first episode, but it didn't stand out to me. But if you really dig it, I'm willing to potentially give it another go.
It reminds me a lot of Full Metal Alchemist, at least tonally.
That's an interesting comparison point.
Yeah, like it's just, I don't know why. I don't know how to describe it, but it just gives me a lot of Full Metal Alchemist vibes.
Dude who hasn't watched a lot of anime getting a lot of Full Metal Alchemist vibes from every show he watches.
But it's great. Fucking please watch the show. The new season introduces a pink-haired twink named Astafo.
Yo.
Who wants to kill every vampire.
Let's go.
That's his whole thing. He's just an insane person who just wants to nothing to do. He wants to do nothing but just kill vampires.
I like crazy twinks.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I will probably check this out because, and you know what? I think everyone else should check this out too. I think every single show we talked about here is worth checking out. Even if you haven't watched the few, there are two shows on here. They're like second season, so like maybe watch the first ones first. But like these are all like really quality shows, and normally this would be the point where we have a no holds barred argument to try and determine what show's the absolute best. But this is a chill. 2022 is the year of the Joker, the Goofster, the get alongster. We're just gonna hold hands and acknowledge that Vanitas is not as good as 86. Thanks for showing up, everybody.
Hey, wait a minute. Your show doesn't have as many hot characters.
Excuse you. It has a lot of hot characters that have to deal with racism.
Okay, mine are vampires.
Minor slaves.
Was there any more to that statement? I hope there is.
Thanks for showing up to the We Ain't Anime Podcast, everybody. I'm gonna go jerk off to my slave porn.
Let's go.